19 years in the NFL. How about that? Second oldest player. Looks great. To Aaron Rodgers, by the way, who always appreciated you. Marcedes Lewis, the former UCLA Bruin. God, you were drafted back in 2006 by the Jags. I remember your college career. So we were talking during the break. It is interesting. I can remember, now I'm old enough to remember when Benny Cunningham for the Steelers was like, he may get a target a game. And then you'd see Kellen Winslow, and you're like, well, that's a once-out-of-20-year player. It feels like there's a lot more Kellen Winslow-ish guys coming out of college. What is the single biggest change at tight end from this past year to your rookie year?
Well, I would say, obviously, I came in at a time where it was more run-heavy, play action pass, let's control the clock, being an extra extension of the line. And if we need you to stretch the field, great. Here you go, catch a bone to come back and come block this power play, right? So as far as the change, though, tight ends now are more spread out, and I think the responsibility of the tight end is changing as time goes on, right? Like when I came in, it was like, okay, you have your number one tight end, and then, you'll have two tight ends behind me, but they're not really going to be expected to do much work, right? It's special teams, and if I need a break or my shoe comes untied, I'll come out, somebody comes in. Now what you're seeing, teams are starting to get more guys, more depth at these different positions to kind of take the workload off of the number one guy. So, for instance, Travis Kelce, right? Elite pass catcher. You know what you're going to get out of him. You want to keep him as fresh as possible. So you're going to have him there, and then who's behind him?
Noah Gray.
You're going to have Noah Gray, who's your guy that can kind of do it all.
Yeah.
Right? And then the guy behind Noah Gray is going to be the more utility guy, special teams guy, all in an effort to keep the number one guy healthy, right? And continue to develop the guys behind Travis. But that's what it's more geared towards now. And I like it. It's kind of like when you think of like the running backs and you have like your guy that's going to run in between the tackles, your bruiser, and then you got your guy that's catching the ball out the backfield, pitches, sweeps, and things of that nature. But it keeps guys fresh. And throughout the course of a year, you need that.
Some of what you've done is, I remember when you came out of college, it's like, could this guy play in the NBA? Remember Dave Winfield, the baseball player? You had a Dave Winfield quality. You're like, he just decided to play a sport. You could have played more than one. So, but I wonder how much of 19 years is just mindset. Do you think that matters?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Obviously, the physical part of this game, you know what you're signing up for. I've been playing football since I was 7 years old, and it's something that I've grown accustomed to. But my mentality is what sets me apart, and having a routine and my adaptability as well. The game is going to evolve. It's going to, continue to evolve. And if you want to have a long career, then you have to find ways to kind of keep that edge and do the same. And obviously, when I came out of UCLA, pass catcher, setting records, touchdowns, all of that, got to Jacksonville. Those first 3 years was kind of like a culture shock because we didn't pass the ball at the rate, I caught the ball in college. But what that did was prepare me for what the road was going to be ahead, right? And that was getting that gristle on my bones and really embracing the grind. And I've been able to weaponize the grind throughout my career. And, nowadays, when the expectations are a certain way, I've already been through that. I know what it looks like. So I'm able to lead from the front and help the guys that are coming behind me and let them know that, like, this is truly a privilege to be in this league. And if you want to play for a long time and, you want to have a really successful career, it's about the grit and the grind, and that's what I thrive off of.
So Cole Kmet, Notre Damer, I met him at the USC Notre Dame game. Really engaging guy.
That's my guy.
Really nice guy. Yeah. And so you were in Chicago. I'm moving the base of our show to Chicago, and I'm going there after the show, and wife's family's there. J-Mac is like, I can't take the cold weather. Now, you're a West Coast guy. Can you at least acknowledge to J-Mac, Chicago's a fun time?
I will say this. Obviously, I played 12 years in Jacksonville, 5 in Green Bay. I just finished my second in Chicago. I think the city of Chicago is probably one of my favorite cities I've ever been in, and I was born in Long Beach. I went to UCLA, right?
Yeah.
Love LA. This is where I'm from. This is where the family is. But Chicago is probably one of my favorite cities to ever be in.
Architecture.
Everything, man. The food is amazing.
The people are just great. People dress up.
Yeah, no, and you mentioned the cold. Like, yes, it is cold. We do understand that. But, like, I feel like I dress the best when it's cold. You know what I mean? I can layer up. I can wear my trench coats with my hoodies and everything.
Okay, I tell him that. You know when I tell my wife this.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, you are in the winter. She's got layers, the coat.
Come on. Yes,
Chicago's got good-looking people.
Yes, that's what it's about. Like, I'm telling you, when it's hot outside, sometimes when I'm in my house, I don't even know what I'm wearing. Like, I'll leave out with swim trunks with a hoodie just because I'm like, well, maybe cold. You know how LA is.
Right.
It's like, yeah, it says 78, but the breeze, like, give me something that I know. If it's going to be 60, I'm going to dress like it's 60, and I know exactly what I'm walking into. And so I enjoy it. Like, it's a good time.
So we do worry a little about Caleb Williams, and I've said this. I love him personally. I think he's a good guy. And I think this was a fair, not even a criticism. It was a fair kind of summation of him. In college sometimes, and I think a lot of this was he didn't trust his own line, he just wouldn't out them publicly, is that he was kind of a big play guy. Instead of taking the layup, which that's the NFL, Mahomes takes a lot of layups.
No doubt.
You know, Michael Jordan, about twice a night, was jaw-dropping. Other than that, Michael hit a lot of 18-footers.
No
He'd
doubt.
just come down. And that he was a little prone to go wild play over just boom, boom, boom. Did you sense a little bit of that early in him growing out of that?
Yeah, I think, you know, when you have a guy like Caleb and the ability that he has to get that ball out of his hand and throw off platform and make hard stuff look very easy. And if you're doing it in college and you've been able to get away with it in college, obviously the natural progression when you come into the league, you're going to try to do some of those things. And so I think, you know, in his defense, obviously with our offense last year, the firing of coaches,
the line,
there was a lot going on, and he was just trying to do the best job he could at trying to take on all the information. Obviously, the offense kind of like shifted midway through the season. Like it was just a lot going on for him. And I think that, you know, obviously bringing Ben Johnson in and being able to pair him with Caleb and Caleb's ability to kind of be who he is. And Ben is going to be able to get in there and get into his mind and kind of create this offense around Caleb so that, you know, he understands the structure and how things should work in the NFL. And, you know, you're not going to question Ben's ability to put guys in position to make plays. And,
right.
You know, I'm looking forward to watching it. It's going to be.
Are you going to play again?
Yeah. I mean, I'm at 19, obviously. That's all fine and dandy, but 20 just.
Do you know
sounds better.
where?
I don't know where yet. You know, there's been a few teams probing to kind of see if I'm going to continue to play. And so it's all in the universe's hands, and I'm just going to do my job like I've always done this offseason and train my butt off, and I'll be ready when that.
Would you like to go to Chicago?
Of course, that's best case scenario.
Okay, it is.
Yeah.
What's second best case scenario? You know, Chargers could use they could use a tough guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that open to interpretation. I'm not gonna, obviously, for me to put Chicago out there, I've been there the last 2 years. I'm familiar with
you got guys,
the process and you know that work and what they expect and what's expected of me, right? And obviously they fired their coaching staff, but they kept my tight end coach who I've had the last 2 years there, and so would be great to finish my career with him. Jim Dre is somebody that I respect a lot, and he, you know, brings the best out of us in that room. And being able to continue to watch Cole Kmet kind of develop and do his thing as he comes into his own, and you know, would just be a blessing. So, you know, obviously, what I can control is being my personal best and working out and doing my thing, and I'll be ready when that time comes. So
you know Aaron well. I said. I kind of thought he would. Minnesota works. I would have gone to Minnesota. I could see Aaron at this point saying, "You know what? I kept telling people, I think he likes New York. I think he's a smart guy, likes the city, its fabric. I think New York is like Chicago.
Yeah.
Big, smart cities for, museums and architecture. And there's always somewhere to go in New York and Chicago or London. I could see him going to New York. They got a left tackle, offensive coach, weapon, great running back draft. But I could also see Aaron saying, listen, man, I'm 41, a little bumpy at the end, first ballot Hall of Famer. If you had to guess today, retirement, Steelers, Giants, do you have a guess?
My guess would maybe be the Steelers.
You like the Steelers. They don't have a left tackle. That worries me.
I just think that him coming from the Jets, obviously already being in New York, I don't know, me knowing A-Rod, I don't know if he would want to just go right over to the Giants after being with the Jets. Like, I feel like he would want more of like just something completely new, completely different, potentially get out of New York. I know him and Tomlin have a really good relationship.
Yeah.
And a good, rapport there. And it's just a Steel City. I feel like that's the piece that they would need to potentially put them over the top as well. But if I, was having a conversation with Aaron right now about coming back, I would just say chase joy, not happiness. Happiness is fleeting. If you don't find joy in football and everything that comes with it anymore, as far as, being scrutinized and everybody picking you apart from the outside, you've done enough. You are one of the best that have ever done it. And like you said, first ballot and a really good friend of mine. So whatever it is, take the time to kind of figure that out. He always knows he can lean on me and hit me up whenever he wants to kind of sort through it, but he's definitely done enough, so it'll be interesting to see.
Is he misunderstood?
Yeah, I mean, I think for people that don't know me, I would be misunderstood as well. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things. Like, if you don't know somebody personally, you're going to form your own opinions based on secondhand and third-hand information that you've gotten. And does A-Rod kind of provoke it a little bit because he knows?
I think I've said this before. He can be combative.
No doubt.
By the way, with his family, I'm not making stuff up. And I've met Aaron once at the ESPYs very, very quick. And even in that little 45-second moment, he's got a big opinion, and he'll tell you, and he didn't know me, and I'll never say what was said. But my take is that's who he is.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, that's just who he is. And if you don't really have the time to kind of like sit there and get to know him and be with him on the day in and day out basis, your opinion is probably going to be just like everybody else's opinion that don't really know him. And so, I'm grateful to have had those moments with him. And, we've actually spent holidays together and, spent a lot of time together kind of picking his brain. And it's just a different psychosis that makes you great. And he's one of those guys. And he loves football. Yeah, he loves it, man. Just how he prepares, how he comes to work. A lot of what people don't understand, too, is, and I'll leave it with this, friendships and connections as far as who you respect at the professional level, even really at the college level, is based on how you come to work and what you do in the film room, how you are on the field, how you treat people around the building. Like that's your value. And if you're one of those guys that does it the right way, and he is, and how he leads from the front in the building, you're going to be best friends. And if you're not, you're going to find out real quick. And A-Rod is one of those guys, like, he's not necessarily going to pull you aside and be like, hey, man, I don't really like this. He's just not going to talk to you. You know what I mean? Right. And, like, that's just what it is.
Yeah, so, everybody's different.
Yeah.
Who's the biggest trash talker you line up against, career and currently? A guy that, like Max Crosby, he said he's like a radio announcer. Like, he's just talking. Yeah. So, Max does talk a lot, but Max backs it up a lot. So he can say whatever. Is he a handful? Yeah, he's a dude. And he's one of those guys, whether it's Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, whenever I've gone against those two guys, I know that the night before, my body feels different. Why? Because I know that, come Sunday morning, I'm going to need all of what I have in order to get my job done. And I think that's the beauty of competition in general. And if I don't feel that, then there may be an issue
And I have to, like, sometimes muster that up, right? And
Max is one of those guys that it's just different.
Yeah, it's just different. You just know that you're gonna get a handful every single play, nonstop. This is what it is. Whether you block him, great. Just know that the next play he's coming after you. And but that's what I thrive off of. Like you don't have guys like that no more. Like Max is an old school guy.
He is a Raider from the 70s.
You know what I mean? Like he's just an old school guy, and like I think for me that's what I appreciate more are guys that are that way. And you're gonna have guys that talk a lot, but if you're not backing it up like that, then it becomes whatever, right? Like you can watch the film and he jumps off the film every single play, so you know what you're getting, right? And you know those are the type of guys you respect every day. So,
man, we only get you like twice a year.
I know, man.
You're busy. You have a life.
Yeah, I gotta stop by more.
Well, no. It's not your responsibility. I'll just have to fire my guest booker. It's no big deal. So do you still live over by my favorite restaurant?
Yeah, so I'm still over there. I'm actually now in Studio City, though. I moved down. I just wanted to try something a little different. It was being in Encino was kind of far.
Oh yeah.
You know, coming back this way, but I'm enjoying Studio City, and I'm there for now. So we'll see.
Man, I'd love to see you with the Bears.
Oh man, let's see what happens.
I'm in the burbs now too.
Yeah, no, they have my number.
Kind of boring, but you know.
I like it. I like being just far enough away, but if I want to go get it, you know, I mean, it's L.A., so maybe.
Who's the biggest personality in the Bears? Like a funny guy. Every locker room's got a funny guy.
I would say DJ Moore. DJ is like, he's unassuming too. Like DJ's quiet at like face value, but like once you get to know him, his pranks, jokes, like he's a dude. I love DJ.
And he's also a great player.
No doubt.
Marcedes Lewis, what a pleasure. Maybe we'll go into business someday.
Let's do it.
I got a podcast company.
Sign me up.
Which is very popular. Kids like it.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a long time now.
I know.
And I got one more that I want to get 20, and then
wow,
let's get it, man.
Not like you'd need it, but you're going to have quite a pension.
No, I appreciate. Hey, you know what's funny about that is like you don't really think about those things because you're literally in the grind. And then guys don't necessarily play for this long, so you don't really even.
Yeah.
But here's the wild thing. Yes, there'll be a pension there, but it's more so like some of the things you can't even have access to till you're 45. I'll be 41 in May. Like, who finishes playing? And then, like, if I wanted to, it's like, oh, yeah, cool. 2 or 3 years, I could just.
You could be president. Like, isn't 42 the number on presidency? I think I just retire Bears and run for office. Believe me, we could use lots of leadership in this country.
Oh, my gosh.
Marcedes, great seeing you, buddy.
Likewise. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate it. Back in a second, The Herd.